Good morning, children. Today, in this class, we are going to discuss the water resources. Water resources, what are water resources? What is the importance of water resources? How important the water is? Then, and how we are going to develop these resources? What is water scarcity? And how to solve this problem? And these things we'll discuss. Now, let us see, as you know, importance of water, as you know. If we see the whole world is 3/4 of the area is covered by water. 3/4 of the area is covered by water. Whereas 2.65, almost all 3%, very less percentage, low percentage of area is covered by fresh water. The 3/4 which is covered by water is completely ocean waters, salty water, which may not be used for daily use, but especially for fresh water is available very low percentage. So regarding these things we will discuss. Now, as you know, in general, the without water we cannot survive. Water is one of the finest example for renewable source of energy. Water is one of the finest example for renewable source of energy. You see, recently there is a flood which is occurred in Orissa state. So there is a lot of destructions, devastating has taken place, complete water runoff. There is no drinking water available. So therefore, a big tragedy. People face a lot of difficulties. So therefore here, the water gives life. At the same time, the water also can take the life also. How it is important, as you know. Water, without water we cannot survive. Water is very essential for our daily use, cooking, for bathing, for gardening, for navigation, for transportation, for washing, etc. So it is very important, water. So it is one of the finest example for renewable source of energy. So this water has been formed in the hydrological cycle. Evaporation, condensation and precipitation. So this is the way how this water has been formed. For example, if you take in summer season, especially in the olden days, due to lack of water, due to non-availability of water in some parts of the country, people go to the long distances by taking mud cars. Going to long distances and collecting water and comes back and use the water for daily use. This is what we have seen. There are some pictures we have seen. They are given very clear pictures in your textbook. If you want, you can go through it. So therefore, now you can see what were the main reasons, what are the main factors behind this water scarcity. So when you talk about this water scarcity means lack of, non-availability of water in certain regions. Example, in desert regions. Example, you take arid regions, arid and semi-arid regions of Rajasthan and Gujarat. These are the dry areas. Every year remotely we receive very little rainfall, 20 centimeters per annum. Such cases, how people can survive? So first of all, children, we will discuss what are the main factors, what are the main reasons for water scarcity. There were three important reasons for water scarcity. Number one is overexploitation. Number one is overexploitation. Overexploitation. Overexploitation is one of the major factor. Because we have to use this resource, how much water is required, that much you have to use. Example, children, you see, after the games period, normally, the moment you entered into the house, enter into the bathroom, knowingly or unknowingly, you open the tap and you started singing and taking bath. You don't know how much water you are consuming, how much water you are wasting. So therefore, that is not only that reason. And there are people in public, people have been dumping the waste materials. So it will be contaminated. So there are many factors. Is overexploitation, one of the reason, one of the factor. Second factor is excess use of water. Excess use of water is, you do not know the value of the importance of water. People use how much. You have to restrict how much you need, that much you have to use. Previous topic, you have discussed about sustainable development, conservation. So here you have to conserve these resources. You have to conserve the water. How much you need, that much you can utilize. Rest you have to restore. Excess use of water is, that is the second factor. Third important factor is unequal access to water by the different social groups. Unequal access to water among the different social groups. These were the three important factors for water scarcity. Normally this scarcity will take place. The dry regions and semi-arid regions of Rajasthan as well as Gujarat. Children, make a note. So therefore, you have to be very careful to use. Before using certain things, you have to restrict. How much you need, that much you have to use. So therefore, water scarcity means it is a shortage of water, lack of water, non-availability of water. Whereas here, the reasons for water scarcity is, number one is overexploitation. Number two, excess use of water. And third one is unequal access to water for different social groups. So this is the problem, yes. Non-availability of water, not only for our daily, it is very essential for development, especially for agriculture and industrial wise. These resources can be developed mostly in agriculture as well as manufacturing industries. So due to this problem, water scarcity, even people earlier, the great leaders has quoted. So because of the over exploitation, we are going to face a big problem coming years. That is year 2025. If we take 2025, if we take this year, we are going to face 2 billion people are going to face this water scarcity. So how you are going to solve this problem? Therefore, we have to conserve these resources. You have to, these water resources, you have to conserve. Even Flagon Marsh has told almost 1,000 cubic meters, 1,000 cubic meters of water is required for one person one day. Every day for one person we require minimum is 1,000 cubic meters. That is comes under shortage of water, water stress. Even that's why, even for keeping this view to develop this agriculture as well as industrial development. So after the independence, they are given a lot of importance for this water scarcity. Government has spent crores of rupees to take certain projects, take certain reservoirs, to construct, to implement certain dams. Now children will find out, let us define dam. What is dam? D-A-M, dam. What is dam? Dam is nothing but as barrier constructing across the river, stop flowing of water, or called as reservoir. Otherwise, you can say like this: dam is nothing but as a reservoir rather than structure. Dam is a reservoir rather than structure. Can be say it's a dam. Lake, pond, embankment. There are the various sources we can conserve the water. So here, basically, initially all these dams are constructed by spending a lot of amount in different parts of the country. But main purpose is to supply water for irrigation. To supply water for irrigation and to develop the industries, manufacturing industries. That was the main focus. Later on, we have realized that we are getting several benefits. We are getting plenty of benefits from these dams, from these reservoirs. What are those benefits? What are those uses? What are those advantages, I mean to say? Here you can see the dams not only supplying water for irrigation. Dams supplying water for irrigation. Number two, these dams also useful to control the floods. To control the floods. At the same time, the dams also can be used for producing electricity. To produce the electricity, hydroelectricity, thermal electricity, energy. And these dams are also useful for fish breeding, navigation, inland navigation. There are several benefits. What are those? Not only these dams are providing water for agriculture, producing electricity, useful for fish breeding, navigation, transportation, controlling floods. So several benefits we have been extracting from these dams. Therefore, these dams, we call it multi-purpose dams. We call it as a multi-purpose. We call it as a multi-purpose dams. Multi means many uses, many advantages, several uses which we can get through these dams. Navigation, electricity, flood control, fish breeding, supplying water for irrigation, whatnot. Therefore, these dams we call it multi-purpose dams. Give some of the examples for the multi-purpose projects or dams. Number 1, Hirakud project. Hirakud project. Hirakud project is the longest project in the country. Not only in India, in the world. Hirakud is the longest multi-purpose project in the world. It has been constructed on the river Mahanadi. This Hirakud project is constructed on the river Mahanadi in Orissa. This is one of the finest examples. And another example is Bakranangal project. Another example for the multi-purpose project is Bakranangal. You can say Bakranangal or Bakranangal project. And this has been constructed on the river Satluj. It has been constructed on the river Satluj, the tributary of the river Indus. Land of 5 rivers. What are those? Land of 5 rivers: Indus, Jhelum, Chenab, Ravi, Satluj. Indus. The second one is Jhelum. And third one is Chenab. And fourth one is Ravi and Satluj. Last one is Satluj here. So on this river, Satluj, this Bakranangal has been constructed, and this is the highest dam in the world. This is the highest gravity multi-purpose dam in the world. That is Bakranangal. So Bakranangal is the highest gravity multi-purpose dam, which has been constructed on the river Satluj. Hirakud project, Bakranangal project, Nagarjuna Sagar, Tungabhadra project, Damodar Valley project. So there are various projects So these dams also can be classified into many ways according to the altitude, according to the height, according to the height and size. Here, these dams can be classified into various large dams, medium dams, and low level dams. So what we are discussing now, number one is that is Hirakud as well as Bakaranangal, Nagarjuna Sagar, even Tungabhadra project. These are all you can consider as a biggest multi-purpose projects. Biggest multi-purpose projects. At the same time, as you know, children, these location of these dams is. Now discuss the location is. Location of the dams. Location of these multi-purpose projects is already said. Hirakud, Orissa, Bakaranangal, present Himachal Pradesh, Nagarjuna Sagar, Andhra Pradesh, Tungabhadra project, Karnataka, Sardar Sarovar, Gujarat. So like this, there are projects lies in the different parts of the country. All these dams located lies in the different regions, different parts of the country. So that all these advantages, the uses benefited by the entire country, the whole country. It will be useful, ultimately it will be useful for the whole public in different regions of the country. Still, there is a scarcity of water, some of the interior places in the country. For example, you take the villages. Even if you take the villages, many villages, the interior places, who are living in interior places, they are facing the same problem. Even they cannot perform the activities like agriculture. They cannot run a small type of industries because of water. Is the main source. That's why most of the people in villages, rural areas, are depend upon the monsoons. Depend upon the monsoons. If there is no monsoon in that particular year, in that particular period, there is no crop. The agriculture and activities completely be stopped. This is a problem. So therefore, these dams are constructed different parts of the country, different regions of the country, so that it will be benefited for all the people who are living in different directions of the whole India. At the same time, we should know this map is very important. Yes. Okay. These dams are constructed on various river valleys. It's already discussed previous classes. River valleys, rivers. There are two types of rivers: perennial rivers and impenetrable rivers. Here, rivers can be classified into perennial rivers and impenetrable rivers. Perennial rivers means, yes, the rivers which are coming from the Himalayan mountains, which supplies water throughout the year. Because these rivers form due to melting of ice from the higher elevations, the higher mountains. So examples for these perennial rivers are Indus, Ganga and Brahmaputra. Indus, Ganga and Brahmaputra. These are the finest examples for perennial rivers. Even if you see another angle, impermeable rivers. The rivers which takes birth around the Deccan Plateau, around the Peninsular Plateau. All these impermeable rivers takes birth around the Peninsular Plateau, such as Kaveri, Krishna, Godavari, Mahanadi, Narmada and Tapi. Narmada and Tapi. Yes. These are best examples for impermeable rivers. Because these are all temporary rivers. Only during monsoons, only rainy season, a particular time, a particular period, you can identify, and these rivers supply water. Thereafter, once the period is over, once monsoon's period is over, completely, slowly it will be completely dried off. Thereafter, we don't find water at all. Such rivers we call it as the impermeable rivers. Such rivers we call it as the impermeable rivers. Examples. Children, listen very carefully. Map also is very important. Perennial rivers and impermeable rivers. Yeah. Locate so and so river. Indus, Ganga, Brahmaputra, Kaveri, Krishna, Godavari, Narmada, Tapi. So you should, each and everybody should know where is the so and so tributary or river is located. At the same time, since you are discussing about the dams, here, so and so which dam is constructed on particular river, yes. Just now, Mahanadi, Hirakud is constructed on Mahanadi river. Vakkanangal constructed on Satluj river. Tungabhadra river constructed on Kaveri. Nagarjuna Sagar constructed on river Krishna. So like this, all these rivers also you should notate. It's very, very important for map pointing. Not only rivers as well as dams. You have to be concentrated about all these rivers. Rivers and dams. Now further we will continue. Not only we are getting all the benefits, advantages from these dams, at the same time we are getting disadvantages also. Disadvantage क्या है? Because these dams will be stop this flowing of water due to formation of sediments at the bottom of the dam. Ultimately, what happened? Cracks will take place and dams destroys. Once it collapses, the entire flora and fauna will be damaged. Surrounding entire environment and the people and agriculture and other activities completely disturbed, drastically will be damaged. To reconsider these resource dam once again, it takes a lot of time. Meanwhile, people has to suffer. So therefore, these dams, even though multi-purpose, at the same time we are getting both advantages also as well as disadvantages. So we consider positive points more. Yes, all the multi-purpose projects have been supplying many benefits. We're getting many uses like supplying water, irrigation, electricity, navigation, fish breeding, controlling the floods, etc. This is the regarding dams. The important dams. Locate all these where all these dams are located, and which all the rivers these dams are constructed. What are the disadvantages and advantages of these dams, multi-purpose dams? Children, in this class we will discuss water, how importance of water, then fresh water, from where it comes. Then come to what is water scarcity, what are the causes for water scarcity, and what are dams, what are the different type of dams, advantages and disadvantages. Children, make notes for all this, and please identify, you see in the map given, where all these dams are located, on which rivers the following dams are constructed, everything you should go through your DS. Clear? Any doubt? Okay, thank you. Sure.